Hello, everyone, and welcome to my CSU channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The reason behind Lindsie Chrisley's shocking exit from Chrisley Knows Best revealed, as former reality star's relationship with famous family crumbles. The reason behind Lindsie Chrisley's exit from Chrisley Knows Best has been revealed amid the explosive feud between her and her estranged family, RadarOnline.com can exclusively report. Lindsie, 36, left the show after its fifth season in 2017 and did not return. Since then, there have been many back and forths between her and her family members, including a major allegation she had a hand in sending Todd and Julie Chrisley to prison. A production source tells RadarOnline.com Lindsie threw a tantrum after her role on the show was drastically reduced. Lindsie claims she left the show, but the truth is they reduced her filming to a friend of the family status, the production insider claimed. She pitched a fit. Friend of the family status is a way of saying that she was not going to be a main focal point of the show and would only be included in filming for special events. Prior to her status being altered, the source claimed she was advised to show more of her life and open up, but this was not something she was amenable to, even though the rest of her family was doing that. Things were going on in her life that she didn't want to show, but that wasn't sitting well with the producers, the insider alleged. When push came to shove, the source claimed that sealed the deal. The source also claimed Lindsie was upset, as she felt Todd had more control than he actually had. There was a network and a production company in charge of the show, the insider claimed. At the end of the day, Todd was not responsible for deciding who stayed and what role they had. She wasn't happy with the role they offer her, so she then exited the show / stopped filming. As RadarOnline.com recently reported, Lindsie has been talking about her estranged family members and their past drama on a tell-all podcast. By Lindsie continuing to go out in the press and do podcasts about her family, who she claimed at one point she wanted to drop the last name of, proves Todd, Julie, Savannah, Chase, and the rest of the family right, a source previously claimed. She is continuing to use their name for fame and attention, and this is why the family continues to have issues with her. Even her grandmother advised her to let this all go and stop talking about them, as Todd has made it clear he can't have her in his life after she was involved in their trial, the source elaborated. Todd and his family have allegedly made it clear they want space and have purposely not been addressing the topic of Lindsie, but the insider pointed out she, yet again goes and makes a 3-part podcast talking about them. Todd and his family's continued estrangement from Lindsie makes sense, according to the insider, as she continues to spew things about them in the public arena, which doesn't make them want to move forward in having a relationship with her. Todd, Julie, and their family want nothing more than to move forward in peace and to stop talking about Lindsie, the source added, but as she keeps trying to drag their family through the mud with her stories, they keep having to address it. For years, Chrisley Knows Best painted the picture of a Southern family rooted in love, laughter, and plenty of drama, all led by the charismatic Todd Chrisley. But beneath the reality TV glitz, tension was brewing, especially between Todd and his eldest daughter, Lindsie Chrisley. Now, years after her shocking exit from the hit show, the real reason behind her departure and the heartbreaking fallout with her family is finally being laid bare. What started as a promising family reality venture ended in estrangement, emotional scars, and silence that even time hasn't managed to heal. From family favorite to outcast. When Chrisley Knows Best premiered in 2014, fans instantly fell in love with the Chrisley clan, their wealth, their wit, and their unapologetically extravagant lifestyle. Lindsie, Todd's eldest daughter from his first marriage to Teresa Terry, initially seemed like a steadying force amidst the chaos. She was polite, level-headed, and often acted as the peacemaker when family squabbles turned into shouting matches. But even in those early seasons, sharp-eyed fans noticed tension. Todd's iron-fisted control over his children's lives didn't always sit well with Lindsie, who valued independence and privacy. She always felt like she didn't quite fit the mold, one insider shared. The show wanted perfect storylines and picture-perfect family moments, but Lindsie didn't want to live her life scripted for TV. That tension boiled over in ways no one expected. By 2017, she was gone, quietly exiting the show without much explanation. Fans were left wondering, what really happened behind the scenes? The breaking point. Lindsie later revealed that the cracks in her relationship with her famous father had been forming long before the cameras started rolling. She admitted that the family's growing fame only amplified their existing issues. In interviews and her own podcast appearances, Lindsie hinted that her relationship with Todd had become toxic. She spoke of feeling controlled and criticized, saying that she no longer recognized the father she once adored. I reached a point where I didn't feel emotionally safe being around my family or being part of a show that didn't reflect the truth of my life, she confessed during one emotional discussion. The real breaking point reportedly came when her marriage to Will Campbell hit a rough patch. Lindsie claimed that certain members of her family didn't approve of the relationship and that their disapproval was broadcast not only privately but also publicly. It was one thing to have family drama behind closed doors, she said, but when it becomes part of the show's storyline, when it becomes entertainment, that's when I knew I had to step away. Todd's version of events. Of course, Todd Chrisley had his own perspective. Known for his sharp tongue and even sharper sense of pride, Todd was never one to hold back. At the height of the feud, he publicly claimed that Lindsie had betrayed the family, even accusing her of being involved in their legal troubles, allegations that Lindsie strongly denied. Their relationship hit rock bottom when Todd's fraud trial began making headlines, and family loyalty was suddenly put to the test. She chose to distance herself, Todd once said in a podcast interview. And that's all right. But family is family. You can't pick and choose when it's convenient. Those words stung, especially for Lindsie, who felt that her father was using his public platform to turn fans against her. The tension became so severe that, at one point, the two weren't even speaking. Reconciliation attempts and setbacks. There were moments when fans hoped reconciliation might be possible. In 2022, when Todd and Julie Chrisley were sentenced to prison, Lindsie expressed compassion for her father and stepmother, saying that despite their differences, she wouldn't wish that pain on anyone. Sources close to the family say that Lindsie did reach out privately to check on her younger siblings, including Savannah and Chase. For a brief time, it seemed like healing might be possible.